Here's another topic I want to get on in terms of the relation to midwits because I feel as though I have a certain disposition in terms of expressing my emotions in public because I will concede that with, say, my mother, I'm very irritable. In many cases, I get annoyed quickly because she is very demanding of me in some senses. But I feel as though in public, I'm pretty stoic, and I think it relates a lot to Daoism or Taoism, however you want to pronounce it. And there's like this clear understanding in terms of my brain or my understanding that the world has a natural flow, and to go against it is very counterintuitive, and it's just like a waste of energy. And I know I forget his name, Hung Si or something, the guy who pioneered Taoism as a proverb or a religion, he said that you want to minimize effort as much as possible. And Sun Tzu expresses the same belief in some sense, where you want to achieve your goals with as little resources or energy as possible. So you take a formlessness approach where you're able to adapt in whatever situations, but especially in war because the point of war is to reduce expenditure. You know, you want to, the people who can win are good warriors, but the people who can win with ease are the premier warriors, right? The supreme warriors. So I think there's a lot of wisdom in just analyzing that and applying it to your life. Because I feel that as Americans, or not even Americans, in the modern world, you see a lot of, I guess you could say the opposite in the East. I feel Asians are more stoic in that sense. They're more, it's kind of like ingrained in them, you know? You don't see Asians as very volatile people in terms of rage. And, with American or similar people, they don't, it's almost like in the repertoire of speaking with people, the outgoingness, that gifted gab, there's like a clear demand for expressive people, articulate people. So people who are very expressive in their frustrations or their qualms or complaints, it's almost seen as like a positive, where I don't really have that because I guess my sheltered childhood, I felt, it's however manifested, I feel as though, especially with strangers or like coworkers, there's like no use in expressing frustration. And I think in some sense, it has benefited me in situations, but as well as detrimented me. But I feel as though on the day to day, it's a positive just for the fact that you get frustrated less. There's this understanding in my head that there's really no point to get upset about something. And what came to mind was this coworker I had. He had a complaint about the Afghanistan withdrawal in 2021, and there's this clear midwit attribute that was displayed where I had even mentioned like we shouldn't be there in the first place. It's like that whole neocon thing. Well, they don't really, very 2000s. They say we gotta support the troops, and I'm just like, if you just go to war on a whim, then you're not a warrior. You're just a crash test dummy. You're just a crash out, as everybody is saying nowadays, because it's like a Gen Z term. You're just a test dummy. You're just, as I said, a crash test dummy. You're just a pawn being used. The point of warfare is to first you assess whether it's necessary to go to war because it's the most strenuous state in which a nation can be in. So therefore, you would minimize as much as possible. And the clear neocon wars were not adhering to that, or did not align with that criteria. Therefore, isn't it like obvious? They just don't understand the art of war. They don't get Taoism, and that's another complaint I have of midwits. They just don't. How do you? It's like so obvious to me, and I don't know if it's because I'm so open artistically that I'm able to see these patterns, and they just don't see it. I just really don't understand their point of understanding, and I feel as though it relates to that blindness to serious geopolitical events, coupled that has a similar. It's related to the frustration dynamic that people can't relegate their emotions properly. Now you could hit me back with I'm not the most stoic in terms of my family because I get in a lot of arguments with my family, but I feel like in some sense that's part of family. It's more like it's not the biggest deal in the world. Whereas there's like a clear divide between the outside world you show or the person you show in the outside world and how you are with your family. But yeah, nevertheless, I think people should understand Taoism more and read the Art of War at least if you want to be a soldier, and that goes for all the midwits.